Have you ever stood in front of your closet, pulled out blouse after blouse, and thought, none of this feels right anymore? Maybe the tops you used to love now hang differently, clinging in places you'd rather not highlight, or making you feel older instead of polished. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Every woman after 60 has faced that moment of frustration, standing between clothes that feel too frumpy on one side and too flashy on the other. But here's the truth. You don't need a facelift, and you don't need to spend a fortune on a whole new wardrobe. Sometimes, all it takes is one blouse. The right cut, the right fabric, the right color. It can soften the years, brighten your face, and remind you that elegance is still yours to claim. And let me be clear, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about embracing a version of yourself that feels confident, radiant, and completely authentic. In today's video, I'll share 6 blouse styles that every woman over 60 should try. Pieces that flatter, uplift, and help you shine. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with a friend. Because celebrating beauty is always better together. 1. The feminine wrap blouse. There's something almost poetic about the way a wrap blouse drapes across the body. The fabric doesn't just cover, it embraces. It crosses gently at the front, cinches softly at the waist, and then falls with a graceful ease that feels less like clothing and more like a quiet affirmation. You still have shape, you still have presence, you still have elegance. After 60, so many women whisper to me the same worry, that their waistline isn't what it used to be, that their midsection has become a place they'd rather conceal than reveal. It's such a tender insecurity, and yet the wrap blouse has a way of turning that vulnerability into confidence. Instead of forcing you to hide, it works with you, defining the waist in a way that feels natural, flattering, and kind. The moment you tie that side knot, something shifts. You're not tugging at fabric, you're not trying to camouflage, you're highlighting what's beautiful and letting the rest fade into softness. Part of the magic lies in the fabric itself. A wrap blouse should never feel stiff or rigid. It should flow. Choose materials that drape with ease, viscose, rayon, or a light polyester blend. These fabrics catch the light, skim the body, and allow movement without clinging too tightly. You want it to feel like it's floating, not fighting you. The wrong fabric, something heavy, scratchy, or stiff, can weigh you down, making the blouse look boxy instead of feminine. And I always remind women, trust how the fabric feels against your skin. If it makes you stand taller, it's the right one. Then comes the color. Deep, regal shades are your best allies here. Think emerald green, rich plum, teal with a hint of depth, or even a warm beige that looks like it belongs to autumn afternoons. These shades don't overwhelm your complexion, but instead add life back to it. They provide that quiet luxury effect, sophisticated without screaming for attention. What you want to avoid are patterns so busy that they drown out your own features. A print can be playful, but when it's too loud, it wears you instead of the other way around. Styling a wrap blouse is where you get to have fun. Imagine a dark wash pair of jeans, a little polish but still casual enough for brunch with friends. Slip on your wrap blouse, add a delicate necklace that falls right into the V of the neckline, and suddenly the look is effortless. Or for a night out, try it with tailored trousers or a softly flowing skirt. That gentle waist tie paired with something structured on the bottom creates a balance that feels chic and elevated. As for jewelry, rose gold is a beautiful companion. Dangling earrings or small hoops that echo the curves of the blouse complete the story without overcomplicating it. Of course, there are pitfalls to watch for. A fabric that's too thin will wrinkle easily, and nothing takes away from the elegance of a wrap blouse like a crumpled appearance. Prints that are chaotic or oversized can also be unkind. Instead of enhancing, they distract. The goal here is to allow the blouse to support you, not steal the show. And yet, even with all this talk of fabrics and colors, the true beauty of a wrap blouse is what it does for your spirit. The beauty of the wrap blouse is that it doesn't just fit your body. It respects your story. It moves with you, sitting, walking, laughing, reminding you that elegance is not about hiding, but embracing. I've seen women's shoulders soften the moment they see themselves in one. It's not about chasing a younger version of themselves. It's about meeting the woman they are now with kindness. So if you've ever stood in front of the mirror, sighing at the reflection of your waist or your middle, let the wrap blouse show you another way, not through camouflage, but through celebration. It's clothing with empathy, style that understands you, and design that lifts rather than diminishes. And here's the best part. If the wrap blouse is like a supportive friend, imagine pairing it with something that brings radiance and brightness right to your face. Because next, we'll step into a blouse that doesn't just flatter the body, but literally illuminates your complexion the moment you put it on. Item 2. The structured white blouse with a twist. If the wrap blouse feels like an embrace, then the white blouse is a revelation. There's a reason every woman has owned one at some point. White carries with it a sense of possibility. But here's the truth. A plain, stiff, office-style white shirt can be unforgiving after 60. It can highlight lines around the face, flatten the body, and feel more like a uniform than a celebration. That's why the structured white blouse with a twist is such a game changer. It takes a timeless classic and infuses it with softness, detail, and just enough creativity to make you shine. I often think of it like opening the curtains in a dim room. Suddenly, light floods in, bouncing gently across the surfaces, brightening everything it touches. A white blouse, when chosen carefully, does the same for your skin. It reflects light upward, softening shadows, minimizing dullness, and giving your complexion a fresh, lifted look. Many women tell me they feel instantly 10 years younger the moment they put on the right version. But notice I said the right version, because not all white blouses are created equal. What you want to avoid is the starched, boxy cut that sits on the body without contour. That style can feel stiff, almost masculine, and it does little to honor your curves or your spirit. Instead, look for thoughtful design elements, maybe a sleeve with a subtle puff, a delicate pleat near the neckline, or a curved hemline that elongates rather than cuts across. These quiet twists transform what could be ordinary into something memorable. Fabric choice is crucial here too. You'll want a cotton blend with enough body to hold its shape, but not so rigid that it feels heavy. Poplin is a beautiful option, crisp but still soft. Sateen has a gentle sheen that elevates the look without tipping into shine. Even a viscose blend can drape elegantly while keeping that clean, bright base color. The goal is structure without severity. Now imagine how versatile this blouse can be. Pair it with denim in a lighter wash. Something slightly relaxed, and you suddenly look fresh, approachable, and modern. Add a silk scarf tied loosely at the neck, and you're Parisian without even trying. On the other hand, tuck it into a satin skirt, slip on a strand of pearls, and you're instantly dinner party ready. What makes this blouse so powerful is that it adapts to you. It doesn't demand you conform, it allows you to choose how you want to show up. There are pitfalls, of course. A blouse that's too sheer will feel cheap and leave you fussing with layers underneath. Exactly the kind of distraction we want to avoid. Likewise, a cut that's too square or too short can make you feel as if you're borrowing something from a younger generation that doesn't quite suit your frame. Always aim for a balance between clean lines and gentle softness. What I love most is the emotional lift this blouse gives. Women often tell me they feel pulled together the moment they button it. It's not about hiding flaws, it's about presenting yourself with clarity. There's a quiet dignity in wearing white, but when that white blouse has a twist, something feminine, thoughtful, unexpected, it tells the world I still care about how I appear, but I'm not trying to be anyone but myself. And maybe that's the greatest twist of all. It transforms not just your look, but your energy. You stand a little, taller, smile a little easier, and feel more at ease in your skin. I've seen women walk into a cafe in a blouse like this and draw admiring glances without even realizing why. It's not the blouse alone, it's how it unlocks the confidence that was always there. So if the wrap blouse is your supportive friend, this structured white blouse is your invitation to open the window and let the light in. And once you've felt that brightness, the next step is to add a touch of glow that goes beyond white, something luminous, soft, and almost silky to the eye. Because there's a blouse that doesn't just brighten, it shimmers, and it might become your favorite of them all. 3. The silky satin button-up. There's a certain magic that happens when fabric catches the light. You've probably experienced it before, slipping into something silky and noticing how your skin suddenly looks smoother, how the glow seems to return to your face even before you've applied makeup. That's the quiet power of a silky or satin blouse. It's not loud, it's not trying too hard, but it creates an illusion of radiance that feels almost effortless. So many women after 60 tell me they're tired of matte, heavy fabrics that make them feel dull or weighed down. They want softness, they want fluidity, and more than anything, they want to feel luminous again. That's why the silky button-up is such a treasure. The sheen is gentle, never harsh, and it has this uncanny ability to bounce light toward the face, softening lines and brightening your expression. You don't just wear it, you glow in it. But the key is choosing wisely. A silky blouse should never veer into shiny, because that's when it risks looking cheap or theatrical. Look for fabrics with a subtle luster, like satin polyester blends, viscose satins, or even modern silk-like materials that drape with elegance. When you touch it, it should feel smooth but not slippery, soft but not flimsy. Colors, too, play an enormous role. Imagine ivory satin, the way it picks up candlelight at dinner or daylight streaming through a cafe window, or blush pink, delicate and feminine, like a whisper across the skin. Dove gray and powder blue are equally flattering, bringing coolness and calm to your complexion. These tones enhance without overwhelming, offering just the right hint of refinement. Now let's talk styling, because a silky button-up is endlessly versatile. For day wear, do a half tuck into dark jeans, roll up the sleeves just slightly, and add a delicate necklace that rests right along the open collar. It feels casual, yet instantly more elevated than a regular shirt. For evening, leave it untucked over slim trousers, maybe with a soft belt at the waist, and pair it with statement earrings. The blouse itself already provides movement and light, so you don't need much else. What you do want to avoid is making it too tight. Satin and silk are not forgiving when they pull across the chest or stretch around the waist. They magnify tension. Instead, let the fabric skim. The silhouette should suggest rather than squeeze, trace rather than cling. The gift of this blouse is in its ability to hint at softness, not force it. And I'll share something personal. I remember watching a woman in her late 60s walk into a small art gallery wearing a powder blue satin blouse. Nothing flashy, just that blouse, a pair of black trousers, and silver hoops. But the way the fabric caught the light as she moved, the way it reflected onto her face, it was mesmerizing. People noticed her, but not because of the blouse itself. They noticed her energy. The blouse had amplified her presence. That's the kind of quiet confidence this piece brings. There are, of course, pitfalls. Too much sheen can feel costume-like, so stay away from overly glossy fabrics. Avoid colors that are overly dark in satin. Jet black satin, for example, can highlight creases rather than disguise them. Stick to mid-tones or soft lights that complement your natural coloring. And always check how the fabric looks in natural light before committing. It should glow, not glare. But when you find the right one, you'll understand why I call this blouse a secret weapon. It's not about being noticed for the shirt itself. It's about people noticing that you look alive, rested, radiant. And honestly, isn't that what we're all craving after 50, 60, 70? Not youth, but vitality. So when you slip into a silky button-up, remember this: you're not dressing for approval. You're dressing for that little lift in posture, that subtle spark in the mirror, that unexpected smile that finds its way to your lips because you feel just a little more like yourself. And once you've experienced that feeling of glow and softness, it only makes sense to wonder, what about comfort? What about those days when you want the same elegance, but wrapped in something cozy, something that feels like a warm hug without sacrificing style? That's where our next blouse comes in, the soft knit that proves comfort and elegance can live side by side. 4. The soft knit blouse. If the silky blouse is light and luminous, then the soft knit blouse is warmth personified. There's something about slipping into a lightweight knit that feels like a gentle embrace. Comfortable, grounding, but still polished enough to wear beyond the couch. And for women over 60, this balance of ease and elegance is priceless. We often hear the word comfort thrown around in fashion as if it's the opposite of style, as if you can only have one or the other, but that's simply not true. A soft knit blouse proves you can feel at ease in your clothes and still look refined. The trick is choosing pieces that drape lightly, skim the body, and carry just enough structure to suggest sophistication without stiffness. Think of a fine gauge knit in viscose or a cotton blend, breathable, stretchy enough to move with you, but not bulky. These knits don't cling like a t-shirt, and they don't sag like a heavy sweater. Instead, they create a line that is smooth, elongating, and quietly elegant. And when paired with thoughtful design elements, a boat neckline that broadens the shoulders, or three-quarter sleeves that show the wrist, it becomes one of the most flattering silhouettes you can own. Color plays a beautiful role here too. Soft pastels, dusty rose, oatmeal beige, or a misty lavender can brighten the face and soften features. Deeper jewel tones like burgundy or midnight blue can add depth while still feeling cozy. But what you want to avoid are overly chunky knits or loud contrasting stripes. Those can look busy and overwhelm rather than soothe. The goal here is understated grace. I remember a woman once told me she had given up on sweaters because she felt they made her look frumpy. But when she tried a fine knit blouse with a subtle ribbed texture in a pale blush tone, she couldn't stop smiling. She said, "It feels like a sweater, but it looks like me again." That's the power of a well-chosen knit. It restores confidence without demanding effort. Styling is simple but impactful. For daytime, wear your knit blouse with slim dark jeans and ballet flats. It's casual, but the clean lines elevate it beyond just comfortable. For dinner out, pair it with a silky skirt or tailored trousers. Maybe add a long pendant necklace to draw the eye downward and elongate your frame. Even layered under a blazer, the knit's softness contrasts beautifully with structure, creating balance. The pitfalls? Oversized, heavy knits that swallow the frame. While it might feel cozy, it robs you of shape and energy. Similarly, very thin knits that cling too tightly to the midsection can make you feel self-conscious. What you want is that sweet spot, fabric that gently follows your outline without pressing on it. The emotional gift of this blouse is in the way it helps you relax into yourself. With a soft knit, you don't feel like you're performing, dressing up for someone else. Instead, you feel wrapped, supported, secure. And yet, when you catch your reflection, you realize you also look chic. It's a reminder that comfort and confidence can live in the same garment. There's a certain kind of beauty in clothes that allow you to move through your day with ease. They don't demand constant adjusting. They don't pinch or restrict. They simply flow with you. A soft knit blouse is perfect for coffee dates, afternoon strolls, even family gatherings where you want to feel put together without the stress. And here's the real magic. When you feel comfortable, you radiate calm. People see it, they sense it. And that calmness often reads as confidence, arguably the most stylish thing a woman can wear. So if you've ever thought you had to choose between looking elegant and feeling at ease, let the soft knit blouse remind you that you can have both. It's a Gentle companion for the quieter days, but never without grace. And speaking of grace, what happens when you combine femininity with a touch of playful structure? What if your blouse could not only comfort you, but also sculpt, define, and quietly shape your silhouette? That's where the peplum blouse enters the story, one of the most flattering secrets waiting to be rediscovered. 5. The peplum blouse. Some garments don't just sit on the body, they sculpt. The peplum blouse is one of those rare designs that transforms how you see yourself the instant you put it on. With its fitted waistline and gentle flare at the hips, it creates shape where you want it and softens where you don't. For women over 60 who sometimes feel that time has blurred their curves, the peplum blouse is like a quiet sculptor, subtle, graceful, and astonishingly flattering. I think of it as an artist's brushstroke across the canvas of your silhouette. The fabric hugs just enough around the waist and then flows outward, hinting at movement with every step. It creates that coveted hourglass shape without requiring a gym membership or a restrictive garment. Instead, it whispers femininity and strength at the same time. The beauty of the peplum lies in its versatility. A structured cotton blend can give a sharp, tailored look perfect for professional or formal settings. Meanwhile, a soft jersey knit version offers comfort and ease, ideal for daytime gatherings or a simple lunch with friends. The key is finding the balance. Fabric that holds the flare without feeling stiff. Too flimsy, and it droops. Too heavy, and it overwhelms. The sweet spot is fabric that supports but still moves. Color choices can elevate the effect. Jewel tones like sapphire or ruby emphasize sophistication. Soft neutrals, warm ivory, dusty rose, muted taupe, bring out warmth and subtlety. And for prints, less is more. A delicate floral or subtle polka dot can be charming, but loud patterns risk turning elegance into costume. Remember, the peplum itself is the detail. Let it shine without competition. Styling this blouse can be playful. Pair it with slim ankle-length trousers to balance the flare. Add a pointed toe, flat, or kitten heel, and you've created an elongated line that feels both modern and timeless. For evening, tuck it into a pencil skirt, add a thin belt to accentuate the waist even more, and slip on statement earrings. Suddenly, you have a look that feels glamorous without ever being fussy. Of course, like every piece, there are pitfalls to avoid. A peplum that starts too high on the rib cage can create an unflattering empire waist effect, exaggerating the bust and making you feel top-heavy. Similarly, a flare that's too dramatic can look theatrical rather than chic. What you want is a gentle sweep, one that flatters, not one that shouts. The emotional transformation this blouse delivers is remarkable. I've watched women's faces light up when they first see themselves in a kilt, well-fitted peplum, shoulders back, waist defined, a little spark in the eye. It's as if the blouse hands them back something they thought they'd lost. The sense of having shape, of being sculpted, of still owning their silhouette. And isn't that what so many of us crave? Not to erase the years, but to feel like our bodies still carry grace, still tell a story of beauty. One woman I styled told me she hadn't worn anything fitted in years because she didn't want to draw attention. But when she stepped into a simple navy peplum with 3/4 sleeves, she gasped. "I didn't know I could look like this anymore," she whispered. That blouse didn't just flatter her figure, it reintroduced her to herself. And here's the truth. At this stage of life, you don't need clothes that fight you. You need clothes that honor you. A peplum blouse doesn't erase imperfections. It reframes them, softens them, balances them. It reminds you that curves, whether subtle or bold, are something to be celebrated. So if the soft knit blouse is comfort embodied, the peplum blouse is confidence made visible. It gives you structure without rigidity, shape without struggle, elegance without effort. And once you've felt that sense of structure, you might wonder, what about flow? What about a blouse that doesn't just sculpt, but moves like poetry, swaying with every step, breezing through every room. That's where the final piece of our journey awaits. The tunic blouse, long, flowing, and endlessly liberating. 6. The flowing tunic blouse. There are days when structure feels empowering, but there are also days when you want your clothing to feel like freedom. That's where the flowing tunic blouse comes in. It's not about hugging the body, and it's not about creating a sharp line. Instead, it's about ease. Fabric that moves with the air, length that elongates the frame, and a silhouette that says, I am here, I am comfortable, and I am radiant in my own space. For women over 60, the tunic blouse can be a revelation. Many have grown wary of longer tops, fearing they'll look shapeless. But the right tunic is not shapeless at all. It's graceful. It doesn't drown you. It elongates you. It creates vertical movement that makes you look taller, slimmer, and somehow lighter. Imagine a gentle breeze catching the hem as you walk, fabric swaying softly, its movement turned into elegance. Fabric choice is everything here. Look for materials with flow, viscose, crepe, lightweight chiffon lined with softness, or modal blends that skim without clinging. These fabrics create that long, uninterrupted line that feels chic without weight. Avoid anything too stiff, which can look boxy, or too thin, which can cling in all the wrong places. A tunic should glide, not stick. Colors and prints can transform the tunic into whatever mood you're in. Solid jewel tones like emerald or sapphire make a strong, confident statement. Earthy tones, camel, olive, warm taupe, bring calm sophistication. And then there are the delicate patterns, soft florals, watercolor washes, or subtle geometric prints that add visual interest without overwhelming. The key is proportion. The tunic already has presence because of its length, so the print should complement, not compete. Now styling, the fun part. A flowing tunic pairs beautifully with slim bottoms. Think cigarette pants, straight-leg jeans, or even leggings in a structured fabric. The contrast between the narrow base and the swaying top creates a balance that feels modern and elegant. Add a long necklace or scarf that falls vertically, and you double the elongating effect. For footwear, flats, ankle boots, or even sleek sneakers, keep the look approachable. A block heel can dress it up instantly, but beware of common mistakes. Too much volume on top paired with wide trousers can make you look lost in fabric. A tunic that falls too low, past mid-thigh, can overwhelm petite frames. And while oversized styles may be trendy, they risk stealing the refinement that makes this blouse so powerful. The goal isn't to disappear behind fabric, it's to move with ease while still being seen. The emotional shift of a tunic blouse is subtle but profound. It frees you from the constant awareness of your midsection or hips. It allows you to walk, sit, bend, and laugh without adjusting, tugging, or worrying. And in that freedom, something beautiful happens. You focus less on your body and more on your presence. You feel unburdened, relaxed, and yet still chic. I once styled a woman who told me she avoided long tops because she thought they made her look older. Then she tried a teal tunic with side slits, paired with slim black trousers and silver jewelry. When she looked in the mirror, she didn't see older. She saw taller. She saw elegant. She saw herself as a woman who still belonged in every room she walked into. That's the magic of the tunic. It doesn't erase you. It amplifies you. At its heart, the flowing tunic blouse is about liberation. Liberation from rules, from restriction, from the idea that beauty has to be fitted or tight to be real. It says, I am enough, just as I am, moving through life with grace. And after 60, isn't that the truest kind of beauty? So if the wrap blouse embraces you, the white blouse brightens you, the silky blouse illuminates you, the knit blouse comforts you, and the peplum blouse sculpts you, then the flowing tunic blouse sets you free. And as we close this journey through 6 transformative blouses, it becomes clear. These aren't just clothes. They're companions, tools, reminders. They show you that style after 60 isn't about holding on to the past. It's about dressing for the woman you are today, in all her richness, wisdom, and light. So here we are, 6 blouses, each carrying its own quiet power. From the feminine wrap that embraces your curves, to the crisp white with a twist that brightens your face, the silky button-up that makes you glow, the soft knit that comforts you, the peplum that sculpts your silhouette, and finally, the flowing tunic that sets you free. These aren't just garments, they're stories. Each one tells the world something about you, your grace, your confidence, your joy in this chapter of life. After 60, style is no longer about chasing trends or proving anything to anyone. It's about aligning how you feel inside with what you see in the mirror. It's about ease and elegance, comfort and confidence, coexisting in every piece you choose. Because the truth is, the right blouse can do more than cover your body. It can reveal your spirit. So next time you're standing in front of your closet, ask yourself, which story do I want to tell today? Because beauty isn't behind you. It's right here, evolving with you, waiting to be expressed. And if this journey inspired you, I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because style, like life, is better when we celebrate it together.